Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It's a numbers game. And I very much want to thank you if you are returning, if you are one of those people that does the likes and the comments. It makes YouTube so happy, and me too. Anyway, this video is going to be quick, easy, it's deceptively simple, and yet really effective at saving time in your craft room. Use it, don't store it. It's scrap busting. It's mass making. Okay, if you watched, well, I shouldn't say because maybe the videos are out of order. I deconstructed a 1901 book and basically saved the text area of each page, but there were a lot of margins. They varied from this width to this width. So I thought, well, okay, and the paper is old, 1901. So I thought, well, I can either, use it for backing some small things, or I can just quickly deal with it and not have to, kind of worry about the fragility of it, because it does crack pretty easily. And who doesn't love the feel and the look of a patinaed, foxed, beautiful papers? So what I did, I had, I think, about 3 different widths to work with. So I made these little skinny ones with what was left, but on these first ones, I don't know if I used 6 or 7, 3, 4, 5, okay, 5, anyway, it doesn't matter. I tried to divide it up evenly. And so this is kind of what I did. Now, basically torn edges and staggered them a bit so that you get that sort of that petticoat effect, and also, can see the variety of colors or whatever. Okay, so I put these aside because, of course, I had to get on with something more important, and then I thought, I was looking through some of my fabric scraps, and I realized that a lot of those patterns, do I have that near me? Maybe not. Anyway, I discovered that back in the day, I had done about 5 or 6 slow stitched fabric covers. And of course, there were all kinds of bits and pieces left. So, again, one of those things that, what are you going to do with them? So this is what I'm doing with them. Geez, this bottle is gross, but there's good grip on it. So using some scraps, first of all, I was kind of, as I was picking through them, I thought, okay, what is approximately the right size? What color is going to look best? Like something with a really bright white in it is probably not going to look good. So let's see what we can do. Now, if I would have thought ahead of time to staple these backwards, or like staple so the smooth side of the staple is at the back, I wouldn't have felt the need to wrap my fabric around. But as it is, if anything is going to poke you and draw blood, it's going to be the back side, this side with the hooks, as opposed to the smooth flat side. So again, another lesson learned. Is there a day that goes by where I'm not learning something? I love this fabric. And of course I was hoarding it, and of course I used it on the whatchamacallit, on that slow stitch cover I was talking about. Anyway, I'm using it. This came off a piece like this, which is really very sheer, and it had these orangey flowers on it. So I thought, okay, let's use that. This, I'm not even sure where it came from. Let me find another piece. It was almost like fake quilted fabric. So use that. Did a couple of these with this fabric because I liked it a lot too. So those are the ones I've done. So let's do a few together, and then of course I'll finish the rest on my own time. Another thing I had prepped, still haven't done it though, had prepped a tea towel with a very beautiful design on it as a book cover. And of course it was too big, as tea towels would be. So I had this. So what I've done is I've sort of pre-cut some of these pieces. Now, I kind of like this higher contrast and the little fringy end, but mind you, maybe that is a bit too much bulk. You know what I should do? Again, this is how things get out of hand, how videos get long. I think I'll just remove that stitching, you know, where they've turned back the hem. Now this is going to end up being a bigger thing than I intended. Oh, and I should say, which was the first one I had done here? Maybe this. I think I did these two first, or this one first. And what I was doing here was basically just making it, just wrapping it around. However, what I thought later is, why not have a little extra that could be a tab? So if this was stuck into a side pocket or any kind of a pocket, you've got something to grip it by. So now where the fabric permits, I'm adding, I'm making a little tab. Now, this one is probably the biggest one I've done so far. Well, this one too. Anyway, so imagine if this was stuck into a pocket, you could easily attach a bulb pin or a safety pin or sew on a charm or a button. So you have a few more possibilities for using it if you give yourself a little extra there. Okay, now this is going to have those holes in it, and it's going to have those creases in it, and it's probably going to be a little too big. And I have to say, even with the sheerest one, which was this one, I don't see any glue residue on any of these where the art glitter glue has you know, bled through. So that's a good thing. Now I could go with this. Kind of like that. Mind you, I'm probably going to end up fighting that the whole time. So maybe I'll put that at the back, and the more tame one. No, let's do it. What the heck? I'm up for a fight. So yeah, if, and of course, you don't need 100-year-old paper to do this. You just need any kind of paper. It doesn't have to be old. It doesn't have to be foxed or patinaed. It just has to be some strips that you want to get rid of. It could even be neutral, scrap, you know, something fairly neutral that people could write on. To do this idea. And again, it is so quick. It is so satisfying. It's really quite mindless. And now I don't particularly like this looking like a little roof. So I'm going to just even this out a bit. But if that's your style, by all means, keep it. Keep it, keep it. Okay. This is another one that I used, excuse me, with that, where is it? You know, this was used on the same slow stitch cover. Again, love it. I don't know why it is that I love feathers so much, but I do. Now this is slightly turned back, but I'm thinking when I glue it, I can make that a bit better. So I'm just going to basically, and hope it tears. Now you can see that sometimes when you tear fabric, it does that, but again, this is rough and tumble. This is, we're not fooling around here. We're just using what we have. Okay, so I just, you know, gob a bit of glue on there. Now I do want this little frayed edge to show. Hopefully I'm in camera. And again, you don't want to, well, I'm saying you don't want to. How do I know what you want? You may not want to have this going too far down your little pad of paper because you want people to be able to, you know, lift it, use it, tear it off, whatever your intention is here. So I really encourage you to try these because they're fun. And, you know, is this going to use up every scrap I have? Of course not, because I have too many. But it gives a whole bunch of things. It provides a whole bunch of new cute little things to put in one's done pile. Okay, here is that gauzy one that I showed you before. I'll just quickly do that. And then I want to show you maybe some more challenging types of fabrics. I might have to put a bit more down there. Again, sorry if I keep pulling this towards myself. You'd think by now a person should be able to craft way over here because that's where we have to do it to keep most of us in frame. My phone is on a kind of a gooseneck, yeah, a gooseneck thing. My husband rigged something up, so it's attached to something here on my desk. But the reality is that if I brought the camera more this way, I'd probably be hitting my forehead to it all the time. So that wouldn't be fun. Oh, I guess I had that taken. This was a really cute fabric that I had torn down at one point. I wonder what I did with those things. They must be somewhere in my done stuff. Anyway, it was, it had all these little squares on it that had sort of, well, you can see the colorway, but also had animals and so on them. And I salvaged as many whole animals as I could. And I can't remember what I did with it. I should dig those up and show you. But you know, when you have a fabric that is like that, that gives you nice, you know, squared off or dedicated images, like using them is so easy. Okay, this is an upholstery weight fabric. I love it. I covered an old sewing machine bench with it. Now, I figure if I play my cards right, I'll have enough to do this one and a narrow one. So I think rather than try to guess, I'm just going to glue this down and you see, I guess I could have reinforced it a bit, but you'll see that I just used one staple, whether it was this narrow bunch, clump, or the wider one. So, and then of course you can pick threads till the day you die. Let me kind of see if I can line up which thread is the... Yeah, I've done some basic upholstery skills, recovered bar stools and kitchen chair covers and dining room table chairs. And because this is fairly thick, I won't, well, maybe give it about that much. And I'm not even trying to tear this. Okay. And with the pads, I did try to staple them as close to the top as kind of was reasonable, but also knowing that in this particular case, the paper was so fragile, if I'd have been much closer to the edge, it might have just torn right through. So I love that one. Okay, let's see if my plan worked. Now I won't have much. Maybe I have to save that for something else and just use this. That seems a waste, though. Let's go this way. And again, so what started out as 1 scrap becomes 4 scraps. 2 on the notebooks and 2 left. The lunacy of what we do. And love every minute of it. Okay, I said this was going to be quick, so let me keep my word here and make it quick. I'll show you maybe 3 more that I would consider a bit, well, interesting, but also maybe a bit challenging. Now this one I may need to put a clamp on just to make sure it grabs. Okay, let's cover this glue up for the time being until I show you what I had in mind. Okay, I don't know what this came from, but you can see it didn't tear well. It's very fibrous, but of course, that to me is just one more reason to use it. I'm just trying to pull some of the debris out of here that doesn't. This looks a little bit like someone could have made a nest with it. I guess it's sort of, that's what we have here. No, is that? Oh, yeah. So you can see that this is sort of, that's what that looks like. Now okay, that's loose, so I'll save those fibers for something else. Okay, let's see how this fits. Probably kind of narrow for this. But I could live with that. There's a little hole there, but that's okay. So even the most unlikely things, try not to have chapped hands when you do this because everything wants to cling to them. Even the most unlikely thing can work. If you, number one, have saved it, you must have saved it because you loved it or because you're philosophically opposed to throwing stuff away. Remember what I told you in another video that I'd heard someone say that she was her clutter was the result of, see, I could just do it like that. And yeah. Her clutter was aspirational. The things that were making her space kind of out of control was the fact that she was saving stuff because she had all these good ideas of how she could make them better. I love this one. And doesn't the shabbiness, the fraying threads and that just go with that old paper? Okay, do we get another one out of this? Add that to the threads. Okay, let's clip this off. Throw that over there. I might have to trim this one again. I think too that adding this fabric, not this fabric, adding fabric is going to strengthen and stabilize these little notepads because of course they are fragile. But that's what you get with 100-year-old paper, and that's what, or 100 and, what did I say, 1901? Or was it 1910? Can't remember. Anyway, over 100-year-old paper, that's what you get. Now, yeah, I still want to clip it. Okay, so another thing that I thought was interesting, and I salvaged this off a garment that I thrifted. Do I have another piece here? Yes, I do. So a lot of, this one especially had a lot of threads to, that's still a seam there. I thought I had opened it up. Let me not worry about that too much. Let me put it on this wider one. Oh, and I should say that when I was using those book pages, I figured I'm not stopping till I'm done. So at the end, when I counted them up, I had 47 little booklets. Okay. I don't know why that is like that, but let's trim it. Okay, so that will be cute on there too, and I don't even need to worry about whatever this is that's giving me trouble. Oh, and you know, I like to do some of this deconstructing when I'm in bed watching movies. So you can imagine the lint and the threads that I'm usually surrounded by. Okay, let's glue the front down and then see where the trimming should take place. This one might need a clamp as well because it's kind of got some open areas. If I did it, okay, why don't I just make it simple? Do it where the trim was getting a bit narrower. So again, this one will have a tab. It's got those holes. It would be so easy to add a bulb pin or a charm or something. You can tell me in the comments if you intend to try this. I really hope you do, because again, it is quick and so satisfying. Okay, we won't worry about that. I think I'll show you one more thing. Now this was, should I tell you what this was? I thrifted, I don't know, do they still call them that? A teddy. Maybe I should use this on a narrower one because this is the only piece I have nearby. So it was this interesting kind of mauvey, dusty, dusty pink. So you can see that this was the lacy part. This was the net part. Naturally, I washed it when I got it home. And I took it all apart. Now, is that going to... Now, there is a bit of... Oh, I think I trimmed some of the excess, but maybe I can do a little better. Some of the excess of this stitching, just to have less bulk. But I think I can do that, and that little net part is probably good enough to cover the back of that staple. Mind you, maybe I should have looked for one where the staple was a bit closer to the edge of the pad. So that little seam is now going to be at the top of the notepad. Let's cut this off and hope we have enough. I don't know why that it doesn't want to stay. Maybe because I'm handling it so much. Okay, so there's that little, see that little seam there? Let's just add a bit of glue at the top of the little pad, and then just enough to cover the staple back. And I think this one will need a clamp as well. Let's take it off here, whoops, and put it on here. But look at this, it's just breaking. So these will still need to be handled quite delicately. I have enough to do another one here. Let's get my little scraps out of the way though and show you what has been done. And I might just try, oh, I wonder if this would work. And this is a knit. I think this was a little kid t-shirt. I bought this because I love the colors and because of all these feathers. So I obviously cut around them. I believe I've used some of them. I mean, there would be way more than this. Let's just, for the heck of it, see one of these bigger ones. I guess the reason I put these aside today is because it's pretty white. But now that I've found these again, oh, you know what I could try? Never say die. Is just getting a lot closer. And again, it's going to be kind of tricky because I won't have as much fabric to deal with as some, but I guess even if it doesn't, I think I thought I was going to applique these onto something. Now, knits aren't the greatest thing in the world to work with, but boy, oh boy, that's going to be beautiful on there, and it will work. Maybe let's pull out this. So now that I've found my feathers, I will be using them again. I'm just trying to stack these up so I can either put a pin in them or something to hold them together. It's nice too that there are at least 3 different sizes of feathers, because then you can make a more interesting, it gives you more options. That's the gist of it. And different styles of feathers. Okay, Yeah, I'll put a stick pin in that. And let's put it this way since that's the curvature of the feather. So really, any kind of fabric is going to work. Now, I guess obviously I'm not going to trim the tip or the tail of the feather off, so let's cover this up and I'll show you what has been done here. Now, the nice thing about a knit like this is that you can stretch it a bit if you need to. I said I wasn't going to trim it off, but I can trim it close. Okay, so I have a whole pile, excuse me, a whole pile left to do. But look at how many of these we have. Three, 6, 7, 8. Whoops, 9. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what is that, 17? Did I say 8 here? Like, are those not cute? Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop there. I do have my work. Oh, and there's this one. I do have my work cut out for me. I think I will, I don't know if I'm going to continue with this or I will leave some in the naked stage, knowing that if I come across other fabrics that I want to use, that I've got the bases that are just awaiting final decoration. So I hope this makes you want to make little booklets way past your bedtime. And yeah, let me know if you do it and how it turned out. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.